So, ladies and gentlemen, once again, welcome to this very special episode, episode number 46 of Travel Update, weekly travel updates with Tanvi Goel of Oz India Travel. With that, welcome to the show, Tanvi.
Thank you, Misty. Thank you, everyone. So excited once again with you all and hear all the updates for the week, and quite exciting ones as well, few of them. Before we go ahead, just a little disclaimer that any information we share today is up to date as of today. And as you know, that rules and regulations can change anytime. So please keep yourself updated for that all the time.
And that is very, very important and very well said that, rules and regulations change, and also individual circumstances could be different there as well. Well, right now, it is the first, week of September. Here we are in September, the last quarter of the year. So, so moving on, what are the updates of people, who can fly from Australia to India?
Guys, before we go ahead, I want to give you a big news for the week. Now if you're going to India, you need to do a COVID test 2 times. Like we told you many times before, that they are picking people on random basis. So one test is when you leave Australia 72 hours before your international flight. There you have to do it here in Australia. Second test, I observed the whole week that the maximum everyone was asked to do the COVID test again. That means you have to do a COVID test. So one before leaving Australia, and one once you reach to the airport in India. Just a little bit, inform that before we go ahead. So the India travel test, you can book on New Delhi website yourself before you leave. Last week they charge everyone 500 Indian rupees. Either you can book it yourself online, or you can pay that by cash or by card once you reach to your first port of arrival in India, so your airport in India. But they generally ask you just to give a sample and leave, and you get the result later on. But seems now it's almost mandatory to do the COVID test in India as well. So please keep yourself prepared for that. Those especially going to different states, or booking their taxis to get from India. Make sure you give your taxi people at least 3-4 hours later time, so that they don't have to wait for longer, because due to COVID, the taxi people in Indian international airports might not be stay there for longer. So the communication can be hard. So I thought I'll give you this big update that now you have to do a double test if you go to India. After that, let's go through who can go to India. So any Indian citizen on tourist visa, on temporary visas can go to India. As usual, you don't need any exemption, anything. You can just take a ticket and go. But just make sure what is your visa status, because recently I heard that there are many people, who could not leave on existing visas because some people have applied for a parent's visa. Please make sure that before you book your tickets. Majority of family visas have no, restrictions to fly, but it's good to check if you have applied for multiple visas, especially for your parents. Australian citizens can go if you can apply exemption. So citizens and PR of Australia can apply exemption. There are more in 4 categories, which I like to go through with you once again. So if there is a sick person in family back home, especially parents, you can apply for exemption. Number 2, there is an unfortunate death in family. Number 3, if you're going to bring the minors. Number 4, there are 3+ month categories also there. So you can apply these 4 categories to go to India. And flight-wise, flights are same. Emirates and Qatar is flying from Australia to India. Now, once again, a quick difference. So Emirates now got a short halt option as well on certain destinations. So for Delhi, they have 4.5 hours halt option from all major cities in Australia to India. So to Delhi, basically 4.5 hours. For other destinations, they have almost 8 or 9 hours halt option, 16 hours, 17 hours halt option, or 22 hours. Just remember, in case you get less than 10 hours, you can't get the lounge or hotel facility. So your transit in airport has to be minimum 10 hours to get the lounge or hotel. And in case of Qatar, they have 8-9 hours halt option, 13 hours halt option, and they don't provide any lounge or hotel for free. You have to pay for it. So these are the major difference between 2 airlines. We'll go through with you now city by city that what options we have. Obviously.
Okay, so that is a wonderful update there, Tanvi. Right now, okay, moving on, as you said, we'll go through cities by cities. So first up, let's look at Brisbane. So what are the flight options from Brisbane?
So from Brisbane, we have Emirates and Qatar. Both options are going absolutely fine. We are trying to make the groups pretty much on Fridays. So this month we have a group going on 17th of September. If you want to send any of your parents or anyone who needs companion, ladies with the infants, so you can send them on 17th of September. Flight from Brisbane, we're connecting any city in India. If they can go and don't need any companions, then Tuesday, Fridays and Sundays flight, we have Emirates flight from Brisbane, and Qatar flights are Tuesday, Thursday and Saturday. So there are plenty of flights from Brisbane.
Sorry, so there are plenty of flights from Brisbane, which is very, very good news. Well, right now, moving on, of course, we know about the COVID and the restrictions and but flights, as we have mentioned in previous episodes, that all the flights are still going and operating. So under the current circumstances, what are the flight options from Sydney?
So from Sydney, we have at least 4 to 5 flights options as well. Qatar and Emirates, those are doing absolutely fine. And from Sydney also, we are trying to make a group which is mid of the month. So around 15th of September, Tuesday, we are planning the group. So if you want to send in a group, you can choose that date. Otherwise, Tuesday, Thursday, Saturdays are the Qatar flights from Sydney, and Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays are the Emirates flights from Sydney. So there are plenty of flights from Sydney as well.
So lots of flights from Sydney as well, which is good. And now, of course, moving on, we will go to Melbourne and look at what's happening there. What are the flight options from Melbourne?
Yeah, sure. So from Melbourne, again, mid of the month on Wednesday, we are planning a group. So as usual, and the Qatar and Emirates flights doing absolutely fine. So Wednesday, Friday, and Saturday are the Emirates flights. And Monday, Wednesday, and Sundays are the Qatar flights. So there are at least 4 to 5 flights a week.
So you've mentioned this the groups, and I know you have explained that in favor of the episodes. But just for our listeners, very very quickly, what are the groups that you're talking about?
What are
the groups?
Okay, so I can't hear.
Okay, so moving on, we'll go to Adelaide. So what are the options from Adelaide at this point in time?
Okay, so from Adelaide, options on Tuesday, Thursday, and Fridays, and Wednesday, Friday, and Saturdays are Emirates options. So just remember one thing, guys. From Qatar, you can have one-stop flight from Adelaide, and if you go with the Emirates, then it has to be 2 stops. And majority of flights from Adelaide, we are connecting via Melbourne. If you go with Emirates.
Okay, so there we go. We got Adelaide done there. Right now, if we go to Perth, what are the options from there?
So from Perth, that's the shortest flight you can have. Plenty of flights are there. Pretty much every day of the week, we can connect flight from there. So if you go in Qatar, you can have Monday, Fridays, and Sundays. And if you go with Emirates, you can have Tuesday, Thursdays, and Sundays. Fares are starting around $995 per month.
Okay, so right now, moving on. So what are the updates from India to Australia? The big question.
India to Australia, guys, I have a big news for you as well, that yesterday we have introduced a new charter. That's a Garuda Indonesia charter from Chennai to Brisbane, can be connected from any city from India to any city in Australia. You have to quarantine in Brisbane. So that's pretty much sold out yesterday, but we're expecting there might be some cancellations, or if we get extra caps, you can still contact us and we can get you those flights. So these are basically for those who are vulnerable and waiting for in India for a very long time. Mm-hmm. But there may be still a possibility that you can go in that charter. Remember that charter is just next week on 9th of September, just within a week. Other than that, the charters we have is 11th October. The Sri Lankan charter, main charter is definitely flying from Chennai to Sydney and Melbourne, but we can connect from any city in India to any city in Australia, 18th October and 25th of October. These are the charter options available right now. Other than that, and they are the default flights, which are, I think, already booked out. But if you want to come in any of the default flight, you can register with Department of Fair Offence and Trade. And also Japan Airlines and ENA options are also there. But these flights are last-minute flights which are coming and going. So if you need any of those flights, please let us know as soon as possible. One more thing, guys. Last week I have seen that there are many people whose visa is expiring, and after that they are not permitted to come to Australia. I would recommend you to please try to leave at least 1 week before if you get the flight option. So like I said, 9th September flight is coming, 11th October flight is coming. So for example, if your visa is expiring on 30th October, because from India, nothing is really 100% certain, and there are very limited number of flights and limited number of caps, are there. So please try to organize your flight beforehand so you don't miss the opportunity to stay in Australia. Other than that, I would like to go through the documentation with you guys once again, because I think that's a part which everyone is always confused. Though I got the checklist, I and Umesh are a big lover of the checklist. And just to let you know that I got the checklist for exemption, those who are flying Australia to India exemption checklist. I got India to Australia exemption checklist. I got India to Australia, what documents you have to carry for that checklist, Australia to India checklist. So there are plenty of, and I got a special checklist for the ladies flying with infants as well, that, what are the things you should carry. Being a mom, I understand that, it's not easy. So I have made that special checklist as well. And also I have got a special checklist for the parents who are flying, that what are the additional things they can do. So please don't hesitate. You can mention on this particular episode or any of our social media channels, and definitely happy to send you any of those checklists for free of cost. There is no charge for that. Doesn't matter you book with us or not, we are happy to send you all those checklists. So let me just go through quickly what documents you guys require when you're flying from India to Australia. First of all, your passport, very, very important. If you are flying on the new passport and you have an old one, don't forget to bring that. Don't forget to bring your exemptions copies, guys, and the visa copies. They are very important. Though you believe that, airport people should have it, but you never know that, they might ask you. And these days, everything in paper format is definitely very, very important. So all these papers I'm going to tell you, make sure they are in paper copies, so hard copies. Number 3 is the RT-PCR test, which has to be 48 hours before international flight, unless it was advised to do it before. Number 4, if you're coming with Qatar, they have their Qatar Consent form. Number 5 is Australian Travel Declaration form. That's the most important form coming to Australia. And you have to mention your quarantine requirements and what all things you require, whether you have an energy, everything in this particular form. And sometimes this form shows error, so make sure you do it within time, at least a couple of days before flight. Number 6 is the state registration form. Sometimes you might have to fill 2 forms. For example, if you're coming to Perth or Brisbane first, and then from Brisbane, if you're going to Sydney, that means you have to fill 2 of those. First one you fill when you are taking international flight, and once you finish your quarantine, before that you have to fill your another one. So every state might have their different registration forms, and make sure you fill it. And number 7, if some charters have a special registration form for the city you are arriving, that's another new thing I'm adding this week. For example, last week when we had a Qatar charter came to Brisbane, there were 2 forms filled. One is the international arrival passenger form, which everyone needs to fill who is coming to Brisbane. There was one more new form introduced for the one who are coming through charter. So remember, there is one more additional point I have added this week. And if you need this checklist, I can send you across as well. So if you guys have any more issues, any more questions, you can always contact us. Umesh.
Okay, so they were all the update, and it is wonderful to see that all the points that you are making, and also many times stressing on the points that people need to make. Well, right now let's come back locally here, come back to Australia, and look at what are some of the exciting things that people could be doing here on a national scale nationally.
Okay, so Australia, definitely there are quite a few different things which can be. Destination Gold Coast has just launched a new digital campaign. Those who are interested in Gold Coast must have seen that. It's already around. So they are targeting the residents in Brisbane and around the area, those who are visiting, especially the beachside cities, many other experiences. So this campaign will be running through all the social media channels, and they have added, they're promoting mostly around 110 experiences around. including Columbian Century, Movie Bird, Sky Point, and the Creek. And you can see all that going to, visible to approximately 1 million people up till 12th of September in next a week or so. So please, if you see that, send us the pictures. That would be amazing, and definitely it's a very good, campaign through, done by the Digital Gold Coast. And I think we all really need that boost. And I would say we are really lucky, MST in Brisbane, and that we can, freely go anywhere. So I hope it happens in other places as well. But definitely, guys, it's really quite exciting that they are promoting, and all these experiences people and suppliers, they are doing really very well as well, and make sure that all of us are safe here, and at the same time we have fun with the family. So that's really quite exciting. I thought I should tell you guys. Next is from Virgin Australia. So they have introduced 9 more Boeing 737-800 aircraft into its mainline fleet from October, and the airlines prepare for the rebound in domestic travel. Basically, you can see all these 9 jets coming up mid-February 2022. So there is a fair bit to go, but yes, not too far away. So with these selected numbers, they are planning to target mainly the peak summer period. So these extra aircraft are a very important part of their planning, and they are trying to give us definitely more flight options, and there'll be more options to more destinations, and definitely domestic market going to boom a lot next year by the sounds of it. So, and as I mentioned to you before as well, the Virgin Australia introduced also the 7 close only option before. That means the fare definitely going to be more cheaper. And Qantas also got so many nice deals. From Sydney, you might see there are very less flights these days just because of the outbreak over there. But so I would say if you guys are planning from Sydney, please plan well in advance. And those who are in quarantine in Sydney, please don't book it until you know that what time they're going to leave you. Because the quarantine services really varies the time the services you are going to, and also the time you're going to enter the premises. So sometimes it can be 4 a.m. for some people, and sometimes it can be 7 p.m. for some people. So you have to really plan that accordingly. Next is from Sydney as well. So almost 2 dozen airlines that they don't want to fly to Sydney Airport. That's a bit of bad news. So among the airlines calling, the quid was from British Airways, some European airlines, and the South African airlines, LATAM airlines, and also they have all suspended, their flights, and Samoa Airlines as well. So around 20 airlines you might not see recently flying from Sydney, though we still have a very less options internationally going anywhere around the world. But from Sydney, specifically the 20 airlines mentioned that they might not fly for quite a few times. So these are the main updates from HD.
So that is quite unfortunate that some of these airlines might not be coming to the Sydney for a little while. Oh well, but anyway, there are other options as you have just mentioned. So okay, moving on from the national scene, let's go international. So what are the updates from international travel at this time?
Okay. So international guys, let's start with our test, the New Zealand trans-Tasman bubble. So as we mentioned before that it's paused for quite a few months, but Western Australia government is still trying, and they have reclassified New Zealand recently to a low risk, which means maybe if New Zealand government agrees, then we might see some flight coming to Western Australia. So Auckland to Perth flight, we might see it resumes. It's still not that clear whether it will start or not to Western Australia, or whether it's going to start for the rest of the nation or not soon. But there is a definitely possibility after this action of Western Australia government. So travelers from New Zealand to Perth, if that starts, they definitely required to do a self-isolation on arrival, 14 days, and also they have to do a COVID test 48 hours before departure. But at this stage, it's just a green little bit signal that they might start soon to Perth, but still we have to wait for them to give a final clarification. Next is a good kind of news and a kind of a green signal as well, that UK and US bubble might start soon as well. So the tourism and investment minister said that Parliament, they discussed in Parliament as well, and thinking to start US UK bubble very soon. And they're saying as soon as Australia reaches 80% of vaccination, then they might start. And the same for Singapore as well. So Singapore, Japan also listed as a possible green line lanes once the country achieves that herd immunity. So I think let's be all collect together and get the vaccination done and reach that 80%, because if we reach there, it's definitely going to be good for each one of us. And also, it's like there are so many people involved as well. So, let's do that. So Singapore also came up with something new. So Singapore Fitness, they call it. So Singapore Tourism Board had linked the health and beauty app Class, they call it Class Pass, to promote the country as an attractive destination for travelers seeking especially wellness holidays. So they these days are doing a campaign that they really want to attract the people for wellness, and who everyone knows that Australians really love wellness, health, fitness. So I think they are definitely trying to target us, and it's really good that if they have anything like that. And I really like the idea of the app as well, that with that app we can have a lot more benefits, and or also with the health they are connecting the beauty part, which is my most favorite as well. So the tie-up will see the Class Pass and STB collaborate on a series of new videos, content across Singapore Board Tourism Board social media channels. The partnership is the first since Singapore announced to become a leading urban wellness haven. And they might start all these from April of next year. So very soon you might see that as well. And next is from Germany. So Germany to Singapore also, those who have vaccinated, they're planning to have a special line, including the laser from 8th of September. And the new agreement will see tourists visit Singapore without any need of quarantine. So all I'm trying to tell you guys is really there are very good news for those who are choosing to get vaccinated. Every country is trying to prioritize them. They're trying to create a green lane. They are trying to give you some quarantine-free options. So, and this particular one is going to start just next week on 8th of September. So definitely it's really encouragement for us to get vaccinated. So when these countries open for us, then we might be in the same line and enjoy time more than, in quarantine. Next from Qatar. So Qatar Airways Holidays will soon launch a new FIFA World Cup Qatar 2022 travel packages for its privileged club members, so which will bundle match ticket, accommodation, flights, and there are 7 packages to choose from. So if you need any of those, you can contact us, or you can see their websites as well. But it's really quite exciting that there are so many things happening and restrictions are easing. So yeah, let's hope for the best that we can go for that one as well. Next is from UAE, the United Arab Emirates. I think you might have got already news. Because it's floating so much on social media, and I think there's hardly anyone wouldn't know that now UAE will allow entry by vaccinated tourists from all countries with application from visa, open effective to anyone fully vaccinated by one of the World Health Organization's approved COVID-19 vaccines. More see, the UAE will now welcoming all the passengers from even some previously banned nations as well, so they have taken their list. All they need everyone to do a RT-PCR test before they leave, but they are welcoming, and they have made lots of changes in the whole country to make sure that everyone is happy and safe and they can revisit. So that's really excellent news. Next is from Delta Airlines. They have revealed that it will charge more for the health insurance from employees who refuse to get vaccinated. So if you guys remember, every week we are telling you that most of the airlines are increasing even their employees, their staff, not just all of us, the travelers, but the staff members as well. Now they are putting some extra bonuses for the staff members, and also those who are not paying, not getting vaccination. This time they say they have to even pay extra, if you don't get vaccinated. So that's really excellent news. That Delta Airlines is encouraging all the employees. Next is a very nice tagline, I would say, go luggage free. So the guests who are staying in 6 Sands resort around the world now can pay for the privilege for feeling, less that with the hotel company now offering all the ship travelers luggage via new partnership agreement, which means you from the airport, by the time you reach to the airport until you reach your room, in the ship, you don't have to carry your baggage. So I think that's really cool things, though. Still cruises are, in plan, and there are some places, especially US, they have started some cruises locally. and they are less cruises at the time. But definitely, I think it's a great initiative by this particular hotel. And not only in a particular place, they are launching this around the world. That's called Six Senses Resort. That you don't have to, you can go to the ships, and that's completely luggage free. So I think that's really exciting news. Next is from Disney. So the cost of purchasing Disney themed tickets are now expected to increase more than 100% amounts, which means whatever price is now, they might do it double over the next 10 years. According to the study recently conducted, the conclusion was based on the historical prices from the Disney parks in this part, and as you know, it was closed for a very, very long time, and there are a lot more expenses involved as well. So when you plan and when you make your budget, I would say just make sure that you know and you're aware that they're going to increase the price at least double. To give you an idea, so right now they are planning price around $253 for adult, and that was really increased a lot previously. And for Disneyland Resort California, they said they might have a price around $224, which is at least double the price like it used to be before. So these are really main. There are heaps of them, guys, internationally for sure. All I can say that all airlines, governments, all the theme parks, experiences people, they all are trying to do something better to, welcome all of us when everything opens. And really quite exciting that, all the airlines are trying to encourage the employees and, all the travelers as well to get vaccinated. So once again, if you want to fly in future anywhere around the world, you have to get vaccinated, both the jabs now, so that, you can fly anywhere you want to when it all up to point. So yeah, these are the main updates.
I think that's a very good point that you've just made there, that it is going to be the future. And if you look at say Paris right at this point in time, what they have done is, even though the number of cases are growing, they've opened it up. But all the restaurants and all the things are open to people who are fully vaccinated. So they've got a QR code on their phone. If they go with that and they match and it shows that you are fully vaccinated, you are going in and out. So, because COVID is here to stay, as you've mentioned, it will be here to stay. How we manage, and of course, everyone will probably need to be vaccinated. And there's some very good news that you've talked about there, like the Disney and the Go Luggage Free and all other incentives that you have talked about. So many companies and organizations are doing what they can to try and get people back, to get their confidence back into this travel industry. Well, so under these current circumstances, people who are traveling, what expert tips do you have for them?
So very first tip, guys, please don't assume anything at all. So always make sure that you know what is expected to take when you are on board. I have seen in the charter last week that there are so many people who haven't filled the forms they were asked to do. For example, for Brisbane, they send everyone that you have to fill 2 forms, and still some people just filled one, thinking, no, government just needs 1. So myself, I always call everyone just before they depart from Australia or India to make sure your things are done. But I have seen in last flight, there were more than 15 passengers on board who booked elsewhere, and they have not filled completely forms. And flight was an urge that it won't go from Perth to Brisbane. So I think it was a little bit shocking for me, but I really want to encourage you all. Please make sure you don't take this lightly. All these forms, these health rules, regulations are very, very strict these days due to COVID. So make sure these all things are done. If you are doing any of the domestic legs or, booking any of the commercial flights, Emirates, Qatar from Australia, or from India, you're booking Japan Airlines, or any of the domestic flights, please make sure you do a back check-in before you leave, because sometimes there can be a slight error, and some of the airlines made it mandatory to do the back check-in before you leave. Otherwise, they might not able to, check you in, and no agent can help you anything with that if they deny. Because if I tell you that you have to do it, then, if there is any error, you can always call me, but you have to really go through and do all that, because rules are rules. It can never change for anyone. Third is the self-declaration form from Australia. I know there are so many errors happening on that form, but please, as I always say, fill only mandatory columns where there's a star column. For seat number, it has to be always random. Flight number, you have to put the one which is, reaching India, and fill only mandatory columns. One more thing here, tip is, if I have seen so many people struggling to attach the RT-PCR report in the self-declaration form. So if that one doesn't work, you can always take a photo from your phone and attach it, or you can just reduce the size of that. You can convert it online as well, but sometimes they don't allow you to attach more than 1 MB file. So, and if in case the file is still large, if you have an amazing phone and it's giving you more megabytes or bigger size, then you can take a screenshot of the same photo from your phone. As many times you take a screenshot, the site visit reduces. So this is a tip which I have given to a lot of people into work, and it might work for you as well. But please don't assume that just attach the blank paper and they will let you go. No, they can stop you, because attaching this RT-PCR and self-reporting means you are getting exemption from the hotel quarantine in India. If you don't do that, they can force you and they can put you in quarantine in India. So please don't take it lightly once again. Once again, remember, from Australia, you have to do a COVID test 72 hours before international flight. And from India, it's generally 48 hours before international flight. So pretty much all the flights for the week we have discussed with you in this episode. If in case you find anything which is not there, you can always send us expression of interest. Remember, I told you, please check your visas, especially if you're in India, and make sure you book beforehand, because things are not that certain. These days, you just can't, pay and take the flight immediately from India. So from Australia, it's pretty much the same. But from India, you need to give yourself a little bit time. And please go through all the episodes. We have 45 more episodes there on Australian Indian Radio, Chantix Media, Brisbane Indian Times, on Oz India Travel Facebook page and social media channels as well. Please go through all that. And for this particular one also, please share with your family and friends. You can just, take a little share button on the right-hand side and share to your friends on WhatsApp groups, Facebook groups, anywhere. And if they have any questions, we're always there to help you. And I'm really proud to mention always, the guys, doesn't matter you have booked with us or not. I'm there with you. My team is there with you. We have all the checklists we can send you, but just make sure you're not stressed and you are doing the right thing. That's really very important. The main reason is the fares, especially from India, are so expensive. I know everyone got a very hard-earned money, and the fares are minimum $5,000, and you really don't want to lose that just for a little silly mistake. So if you have any question, you can always contact us. We are there to help you. You can contact us on 040-440-3264. That's a hotline number generally with me. You can message, you can call, you can WhatsApp, Viber, Telegram, wherever you are, I'm there, all everywhere. So I can definitely help you. You can jump on our website, which is www.ozindiatravel.com.au. I have a callback section there as well. Just type your number and send it to us. There's a form also on the website which you can send it to us. You can jump on our Facebook page, which is Oz India Travel. And we have plenty of groups as well. Doesn't matter, as per the circumstances you are in. If you're a student, you are stuck in Australia, you are stuck in India, we have separate Facebook groups and WhatsApp groups you can be part of as well. So I hope you find value out of this particular episode. If you have any questions, if you want us to add anything in this particular episode for next week's, we can always happy and really welcome or encourage you to send out those questions. Would be happy to add. And I hope you are happy and safe. And if you have any questions, feel free to call. Thank you very much.
And wonderful. Thank you so much, Tanvi, because it is very important that, all this information is shared. Because many times we know people and sometimes they do something and they say, no one told us or we didn't know. So it is beneficial for people who are watching this, and if they know of anyone, that they share it with them as well, so that the knowledge is shared with everyone, because this knowledge is out there for everyone to benefit, and it is for the community interest there as well. So once again, thank you so much for this episode. Some exciting news and some things happening there. And of course, as you mentioned, we wish and hope that everyone remains safe. And we'll see everyone in the next episode.
Thank you so much, everyone. Stay happy and safe, and advance Ganesh Chaturthi. Namaste.